Bullfrog, a company which made a lot of very great games when I was growing up. Hello, and welcome to Melbourne After Dark. I'm your host, Mech4, and this is Populous The Beginning, probably my favourite game growing up. I believe it was the first game which I got, which came on a CD. I think at the time we actually needed to buy a CD drive to be able to run it, because I saw the game in the shop, really liked the look of it, and bought it without thinking, hang on, does this come on floppy disks or a CD? We were a little bit behind the times at the time, but gaming hadn't become really the major thing it was yet. It's certainly not how it is now. Anyway, Populous The Beginning is actually the third in the series of Populous games. There were two before it, just called Populous 1 and 2. As far as I know, I've never actually played them. They're 2D isometric games, both in the God Sim genre. This game is a God Sim slash strategy game. But yes, it took quite a bit of working to get this going. This game is quite old, and a lot of the Bullfrog games, certainly another one which you might have heard of called Dungeon Keeper 2, has kind of the same problems where the 3D engine was what you were working off, as far as I know, DirectX, and DirectX isn't really something which is used to... No, hang on. DirectX is still used, but the older versions don't really play terribly well with newer computers. I've actually got this running in a window thanks to a program called DXWND, because it allows me to capture the game, the cinematics, as well as the actual gameplay without any problems. Previously with older games like this, when it shows a cinematic, the cinematic is opened up in a separate program and played as a video file, which tends to mean that the aspect ratio of the video changes, and the recording software doesn't like recording that because it, suddenly you're not playing a game, you're watching a video, and it doesn't swap the program. I imagine that's what the problem is. There was also problems with color. If you want to run this yourself, these might help you solve these problems. Color in this game was a problem. You get crazy colors all over the place. It's another problem which you might see with Diablo 2. The solution for fixing that one is actually rather odd. If you right-click on your desktop and open up the screen resolution menu and just leave it open, it will actually solve the problem. I don't know why that works, it just does. Anyway, we see here new game, tutorial, load game, multiplayer option, rolling demo credits, coming soon and quit. Coming soon is a short trailer for Dungeon Keeper 2. You'll probably be able to see it on YouTube. Rolling demo is, the capture... no, what's it called? The, oh, Jesus, there's a specific name for it. It's like, to capture attention of the game. It plays maybe after I don't do anything for too long, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. I'm credits, of course. I had to fiddle with the sound because the music is quite loud and sound effects can be very loud in this game. I'm not going to do the tutorial because it's just one world. It is a unique world, but I think I'm just going to jump straight into the game. At the beginning, there is a cinematic, so please sit back and enjoy.
In the beginning, there was darkness. Then from the darkness came the manna, and with the manna, the visions. We were not alone. There were other worlds, other tribes, moving through the heavens like a plague. They would destroy us. Alone in the tribe, I possessed the second sight. The manna flowed through me like fire, unleashing the magic within. The ancient legends had foretold my coming. I was the one destined to lead. The chosen one. The shaman. The time for peace was behind us. Now was the time for war! powerful magic, the fury of the elements. Some would live, many would die. But with faith and courage, we would destroy our enemies! And I would become a god.
The journey begins, and our quest for godhood starts here. This is the map screen of the game. You can see down the bottom here we have all these different little divots which fill up all the different levels in the game. I always like this, and the introduction. I just like a lot about this game. I'm gushing a lot, but this is really a quite special game to me. I enjoyed playing it so much when I was growing up. And my brother enjoyed playing it a lot too growing up, though he was a fair bit younger than me. Anyway, so yes, there is actually an expansion for this game. I haven't actually played through that, though I do have it. I am playing the GOG, or Good Old Games version of this. There's not really that much difference from the original version. I still have that, though the CD's probably a bit scratched. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get into the game, shall we? I have created my reincarnation site, and the settlement is nearly complete. Dakini Warrior Training Hut. Yes, this Vault of Knowledge contains the knowledge of the enemy. Only your shaman can worship it. Stonehead, your followers may worship this to gain a bonus. There is a tutorial for this game, as I mentioned earlier, but it is very much just control the camera, this is how you move the characters around, this is how you move units, this is how you interact with items, and blah blah blah. Anyway, here's the game itself. In glorious 800-600 resolution. There is 640-480, which is what I played at most when I was growing up, but let's go a bit crazy here, shall we? Anyway, right away you can see this game still, to my mind, holds up pretty well in terms of graphics. It's very bright, it's easy to tell the models apart from each other, and there's a certain charm to the 2D sprites which make up all the characters in the game. But the objects and the buildings themselves, they're all in 3D. It looks great. We can actually move the camera in and out. If we move up, we can see we get an aerial view. These sprites do look a bit odd when it's like that. You can press... I'm pressing plus and minus at the moment. If we press minus again, or enter, we go into the globe mode, which you saw right at the beginning. This is the map of the world, which actually shows the entire world in a globe. I believe, technically, the game in the engine is not actually a sphere. I forget what it is actually. It might be similar to how it is in Animal Crossing, where it's like a cylinder which rotates, but I'm not too clear on that. Anyway, we could press plus and we go down to the normal view. This is the default view for playing. And we could zoom in even further. We can see those glorious sprites even closer. Yes, you may have heard a kookaburra in the background there. It's always odd hearing those in games. It's exotic and sounds weird. Anyway, because it... Okay, I can do that. Right, I was going to say, because I'm playing in a window and maybe a bit difficult, the mouse cursor is actually, what's it called, locked to the window, so that's not a problem. But I can rotate using the control keys, pan forward and backwards using the up and down arrow keys, and I can hold control and press left and right to pan left and right. Anyway, enough about all that. What do we have here? We have villagers and our shaman in the middle there.
Kai.
Kyle.
Ka.
Just a silly made-up language. This is our shaman, probably the most important unit in the game, the most powerful and also the weakest. Over here on the left panel, we see all these blank spots, as well as this one, which is a blast spell. The shaman's main method of attacking is by casting spells. these spells are generated using the spell charge rate up the top here, which is kind of a vague system which shows how much faith your followers are generating, which in turn increases the speed at which your spells regenerate. I don't really know how it works exactly, but that's the basic gist of it. Anyway, Blast. Wolf. Very good at knocking enemies over and making them tumble away. You can knock them into the water. No unit in Populous at the beginning can swim. Here we have the basic villagers. These little guys do all the hard work in the game, and they huddle into these little circles. I always like the little details like this in the game. They huddle together as if they're talking, and they look around. Yeah, it just looks funny. And if you put your shaman next to them, they start worship go. Look at them. Anyway, right here, over here, we have some houses. This is what they live in. Of course, when villagers go into the house, well, you can see here, there's a lot of information to cover quickly. The houses start at 3. The houses start with the ability to fit 3 villagers in them. When the villagers have been in it enough, you can see there's 2 bars here. There's a green one. The green one, it just disappeared, is the birth progress, time until new brave is born. The red bar here, which you can see on this building over here, upgrade progress, time until hut is upgraded. The hut has 3 levels, the 3 hut, the 4 hut, which is this one, and the 5 hut, which is a bit bigger. Each one generates more mana and fits one more villager into it. It also generates more villagers, though I think each hut... I'll cover that a bit more later. Anyway, the villagers live in the huts, and when there's time to upgrade, they will upgrade the house on their own. And they will fill the house up on their own as well. You can tell how many villagers there are in the hut by the smoke coming out of the top. If it's steady stream, there's a full hut. Villagers in huts is how you generate new braves. Also, villagers in huts generate mana for you. The mana allows you to cast spells. It's a simple economy. The only limited resource in the game, kind of limited resource, is the trees. Trees here have wood. The biggest trees have 4 wood, and any tree they can go 3, 2, 1. When a tree gets below 4 wood, it will actually start growing very slowly. If you can see it if you look carefully, and it will eventually go up to 4 logs again. If there is no trees, trees will grow from the ground again after they've been cut down, though that takes a bit longer. Trees can be burned down by using a fireball spell or any other flame spell. Houses can be burned as well, but we'll see that later when we get more spells. For now, let's build some more houses. We select a whole bunch of villagers, we go to the building panel, and we select hut. This puts a blueprint onto the ground. Where this blueprint lights up, you can place it. If it's red, you can't place it there because it's being overlapped by another building. Or something else. You can't place it on top of your resurrections circle or onto this stone head over here. Anyway, you can rotate it by pressing space. The arrow shows where the entrance is. We'll just place it here. Oh. You left click on the building to get the villagers to start working on it, or you select villagers and place the template down and they start working on it automatically. They have to flatten the ground by jumping on it, which is very funny when you put a building on a very uneven area of land. And then they put the structure up. They need 1 wood to start putting the structure up, and then they need 2 more wood to be able to finish the construction. They've finished this construction very quickly. This hut here is already a 5-1. It really doesn't take too long. Anyway, you can see here that these 2 villagers should go into the hut. They do that themselves if they're standing around outside. As I said, braves in hut generate new braves. I don't know how they do that. There's no women in the game apart from the shaman, but oh well, it's magics of life. Anyway, we'll put 1 villager in here, and we'll put these 2 and 3 and 4 villagers in here. We can build another hut. And let's have a look at the other things around here while they're doing that. We have here a stone head. Stone heads gain a bonus, which is a spell, or a hut sometimes. You can worship it using a shaman. You can also worship at it using a follower. Up here it shows you worshippers. some of these buildings require more villagers to worship at, or more followers. That sound effect sounded maybe too loud. I might actually turn that down a bit. Okay. Let's see. Is that better? A bit better? The sound effects in this can get quite loud. Anyway. The spell which we're gaining here is the Raise Land Bridge spell, I think. What's this say? Your settlement is thriving, Shaman. Braves resting in huts are one way of creating mana. Mana gives you the power to cast spells and train followers. Yes, we're not going to take over the world as Braves. I've tried creating armies of Braves in the past, and it's very difficult to do. It's not effective at all. Braves are pathetic. You can actually see their stats somehow. Do you have to right-click on it? Here we go. Total followers. You can see here, this brings up a encyclopedia of all the different things in the game. Here we have a thing about the Shaman. I won't read all this, it just gives you an outline of what the Shaman does. The Shaman will not perform menial tasks. Instead, she is skilled in magic, allowing her to cast the spells available on the spells panel. Blah blah blah. It also gives you life. The Shaman has a lot of life, but very little strength. Strength is how much damage they do in melee. If we look at followers, Brave. The Brave is your basic follower. It's got less life than the Shaman, and about the same strength as the Shaman. Anyway, we get rid of that. You may have seen some other different types in there. We'll cover them when we get to them later in the game. Anyway, this stone head actually gives you infinite until you achieve the objectives with it. And now time for my favourite mechanic in this game, and something which I haven't seen in any other game to date. Really, I don't think, is land bridge. Look at that. It raises the ground. And you don't have to just do that there. No, you can do that all over the place. Over here. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the camera controls a bit. Well, we can cast it over here. You can raise land all over the place. You can also sink land later on, and there are different spells to use for different situations like that. Anyway, this is what I enjoyed the most about the game. The raising and lowering of land. It is an incredible mechanic. I wish more games would have something like it. Anyway, there's a Dakini Brave over here. Let's meet a fireball with... Let's let him meet a fireball. Braves are very weak. Anyway, here's a Vault of Knowledge. They give you spells, or, in this case, buildings, permanently. Takes a little while to worship at. But for this building, we will get a... The Shaman goes inside and finds... Ooh, what's this? Shaman, you've stolen the warrior training hut plan. Build one to train warriors ready for conquest. Okay. Yes, we can actually see a warrior over here. This Dakini warrior, which the red team... You can see that the warriors have a little headband, like a shield and a sword. They are much tougher than a brave. So we want some of those to be able to defeat our opponent. Ugh, this camera is... so we'll place a warrior training hut over here. Warrior training hut requires a lot more wood than a normal house. It requires 8 pieces of wood. Villagers will go out, cut the trees down, bring the wood over once they've flattened it out, and they will build it automatically. After they stare at it for a bit. There we go. Then they will move inside to start hitting it with their little hammers. I've said already, but I really do like the little details in this game. The villagers going around the site, hammering it together, and you can see the structure being built in stages as wood's added to it. It's just... I like this game so much. Anyway, they've nearly finished the warrior training hut. You can see also little paths appearing on the ground where the villagers walk the most. It doesn't actually do anything, it just shows you where they travel the most. Oop, there's some villagers stuck behind it. Okay. 5... Let's build 5 warriors. Train 5 warriors, sorry, not build. Braves go in, they train for a bit, And warrior comes out. The training takes up mana. It's not noticeable. It must be a really small amount. If you are no mana, it will take noticeably longer, but I don't think you'll run out of mana for training just on its own. Anyway, let's have a look over here. There's another stone head here. What's this one do? Takes a little bit longer, but we will finish worshipping at it and we will get the lightning bolt spell, or just the lightning spell. The lightning spell is a great... Well, we'll see it in action a bit. I think this gives you 4, so we'll just let that go at the moment. We can build more houses. This is a beginning level, so there's really not that much to do. We do actually have another structure here. This one down here, the guard post. It requires no wood and is a little bonfire. You place it down, and your villagers, or your villagers, we'll call them villagers, go and start dancing around it. What this does is it's actually like a patrol route. If we go into the actually no, I was thinking of something else, sorry. These are patrol routes. They tell you where your villagers go. With just one, they circle around. They will actually attack any enemies which come near. They do that anyway, but this just keeps them a bit more active. If we place another one over here, then we can click on one there. And they should... actually, that one and that one. And they will actually patrol between them. This is useful for covering a large amount of area. The AI does use these, but I think they're pre-placed and you can't actually see the bonfires. You may be able to see the glow where they are, but anyway, and they patrol between them. Useful later on. It keeps your guys active and running around, which means that they're more likely to intercept enemies. Anyway, let's go over here. This is the Takini village. We've got to destroy them, so let's destroy them. We've got a powerful shaman here. Hello, I'm the shaman. I've come to destroy you. Have a fireball. Have another fireball. Oh, that's right. Have a fireball. Oh, he's drowned. Okay, come on. I'll take all of y'all on. That's it. Stick 'em up. Put up your dukes. I love the sound effects. Biff, pow, baff. Shaman's actually doing a pretty good job, but they are just braves. Oh, the shaman's health is up. The shaman has been killed, but providing you have some followers left, she will be reincarnated on the reincarnation site. Yep, that's what the reincarnation site's for. Those sparkles you saw was actually mana going from my mana pool to the opponent's mana pool. Whenever you kill a shaman, you get a burst of mana from them. The mana actually increases the speed at which your spells regenerate charges. Mana is... I don't really know. Mana is not really like a resource like... I can't really explain it too well. I can't think of a good way to explain it. Mana is constantly generated. Unless you go all out and have a lot of spells recharging, or some of the really late level spells recharging, you don't really run out of mana. They will keep recharging, but they'll recharge slower. It's kind of like building in Total Annihilation. If you know that, the resources are generated constantly, so things build constantly, but if you run out of a resource, they just build slower. So, anyway, and we see here our shaman appeared in a burst of magic. Right, well, we learned from our mistake that time, so we won't do that again. Let's bring our warriors up. They've actually built a warrior again. The little fight icon is some fists. Anyway, we see here the enemy shaman, the Takini shaman. We have to get rid of them. Come on. Let's go send our warriors to deal with them. Yeah! Once units are in melee, you can't actually control them. You can't get them out of melee once they're in melee. Though they will move to where you told them to after they're out of combat. Tell them to go to houses and they'll... You can see how much more powerful the warriors are to the general villagers. Or general braves, sorry. Anyway, I send them into the house and they start taking the house apart. The shaman here actually has no villagers left. They're completely vulnerable, and they're going to be dead now. Well done! You have killed the enemy shaman and gained some of her mana. When you destroy a house, it leaves a burnt scorch mark on the ground. You can't build on that, and it takes a bit of time to actually disappear. I forget how long it is. It's something... It must be like 5, maybe 10 minutes in game. Anyway, that's the first level. We're done! Level complete. And our guys all jump for joy. They're so happy. They're praying and jumping all over the place. And is there any? Yes! And there's a conga line! Yeah! 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 Anyway. Let's see. We get some stats here at the end. Fights won, 13. Fights lost, 1. I've never paid much attention to this, honestly. So, we'll just go on. And we unlock the next level, Night Falls. I think I'll start this level. I don't know whether I'll do a full playthrough of this game. It is rather lengthy, and some of the game's levels late in the game are really quite difficult. So I'll try at least do this one. I'll do it faster than the last one. Now we must face the Mech tribe. I sense many warriors ready to stand against us. In my vision, we are aided by magic from a stone head. There must be a way to reach it. Stone head. Totem pole. Worship this to aid you in your struggle. Vault of knowledge. Ooh, what spells that? This is the Mech. They're green. That's really the only difference. There are 3 tribes, 4 including your own. There is red, green, and yellow. They each have a different style of buildings. You can see here the Mech buildings look different from the Dakini. As well as the shaman itself having a different look. The villagers and all that look the same. But we can see here the Mech shaman. She always looked like an alien with that head to me. Anyway, like a grey alien or something. Anyway, let's go over to our shaman. And we select our villagers. Oh, you can actually tell your villagers to guard your shaman, which causes them to start rotating around her. Well, I think you could do that by pressing G as well. Anyway, we get our villagers. Stupid camera. And we will make some houses. Hold down shift. Oh, hang on. Hold down shift. Nope. I'm sure there was a way to place multiple buildings down. Oh well, it's been ages since I played this game. What else is there? Anything else to say? Command E toggle. On screen with global followers. Oh, that just shows you... Yep. Here we see a breakdown of all the different villages. Up here we have a list of the villages in the game. 10 braves. Here we have villages with different... in different categories. Selected ones which aren't doing anything, which are 3. This includes the ones inside the houses. No. I have 2 standing around doing nothing. Oh, it's those 2. You can get to work on there. How many are in houses, and how many are working. There are categories for the different villages later on. Though none of those other villages can actually work, so... though working might include going around a guard post. Anyway, over there we hear this, we see this. A stone head. How do we get to the stone head? There's water in the way. Well, we saw this totem pole over here. It requires 1 villager to worship at. So we'll send our shaman over there. And when she gets there, she will start worshipping. Wings start flapping. And this should do something interesting in the game world. Oh, it activated flyby mode. And a land bridge appeared. So now we can get to the totem pole. This totem pole requires 2 people. So we'll grab another villager and our shaman and we'll worship at it. Some of them require more. Some of them, I think they can require up to 5. Maybe more. But I can't remember. Oh. You can hear them chanting while they're worshipping it. Ugh. If you tell them to go to a spot which they can't get to, they put their hands up. They're like, one or more of your people can't get to this point. As they're like, oh, we can't get there. If they do that, it's important to tell them to go somewhere else, because if they stand there with their arms up in the air for too long, they will actually end up dying. Is to get villagers, if they get stuck up on top of a mountain here and you have no way to get them down, that, you know, you can actually get rid of them. Or if the AI gets stuck. Anyway. We worship at here, and we get our first taste of real power, a tornado spell. Use the tornado spell to destroy the enemy and their buildings before they have a chance to react. The tornado spell is a much later level ability. You can tell here with the blast spell, you can toggle it on and off to recharge by right clicking on it. This blast spell, we have unlimited of this. If I cast it until we have no charges left, it will actually regenerate and we'll get all 4 casts back. This one here with the grey background is limited. We only get the charges which we generate from this, and I think we'll only get 3 casts of it. Sometimes it's very important to utilize your usage of these spells to maximum effect. Other times they're more of a, you can use this and it'll make things easier, but you don't have to. Anyway, we'll build another hut. Because we need more villagers. Go on, breed. Breed like you've never bred before. I don't know how it works, it just works. Can we fit another villager onto that? That can only fit 6, so no. Okay, we'll send our shaman back. And, ugh. I'm gonna be struggling with this camera for the entire video, aren't I? I'm using the keyboard. I'm much more used to using the mouse to move around, but because it's in a window, it feels odd. I keep thinking the mouse will go outside the window. Anyway, they build another house. Let's build a warrior training hut, because we'll certainly need warriors to take on these Matak. Stop standing around. Get in that hut. We need 3 villagers in there. Hold down shift to select multiple units, I think? No. Control to select multiple units. And we'll send all the extras. You can also click and drag to select them. My mouse has been a bit temperamental recently, so clicking and dragging is something which is a bit And let's hope we build this warrior training hut before these guys hog all the wood. Come on, stop walking on it. Right. Ah, the music's so great. It's very peaceful. You can see the ocean here, it moves up and down slightly. It's just a little effect. This game was very impressive for when it came out. It still is in many ways. Well, that's to me, of course. I have very thick nostalgia goggles on, if you couldn't tell. But let's build 10 warriors. It's important to note that once you train a warrior, you can't actually turn them back into a villager. So when you train a brave from a brave to anything else, they can't become a brave again. So you have to wait for more braves to generate. It is always important to keep a supply of braves to be able to do labor around the place, build more houses, get wood for trees and so on. You need them for generating mana, for getting more braves, for replacing lost units when they die. As well as, there was a third thing, and I forget what it was going to be. Oh, as well as repairing buildings if they get damaged. Right, we've nearly got all of our warriors. You see these little windmills in the fronts of their houses. I don't know what they're there for, they're just windmills. Okay, we've got our 10 warriors. And we see over here a guard tower. We can't actually build these yet. We will in the next level, I think. But anyway, this video is going to be a bit long, but I want to finish this other level. So let's get all of our villagers. Let's get all of our villagers and our shaman. And can we make them into control group 1? Nope. 10 and 11. It seems like left shift actually groups them, but right shift doesn't. Oh no, right shift does. Okay, well, they're actually keen to attack us. The AI does do things like that, it will attack you. In later levels it's more prevalent, the early levels are rather forgiving in that regard. But let's tell them to attack this guard tower. Guard towers are buildings which set off an alarm when an enemy unit is near it. This is useful for, well, telling when you're under attack. They also give extra range to your shaman if you put her inside it for her spells, as well as some other units later on. Let's tear down this house, because we don't like it. I mean, look at it. How would they get into that bit up there? They're not sensible builders like us. And let's go over here and tear this house down, and we'll show off the tornado spell. Woof. There goes their house. Oh no, shaman! Fireball! Go away! Fireball! Fireball! Oh, come on, fireball! There we go. If they get little flame trails on them, it means they've been hit by the spell. Otherwise they just get knocked around. The blast spell is always useful because it's got a very high blast on it, which sends enemy units tumbling all over the place. Often into the water. Water is the eternal enemy in this game. Anyway, let's have a look here. We have another Vault of Knowledge, and there appears to be some kind of hornet or bee up above it. You can see the shamans wandering around up here. So we gained the Swarm spell. As the Vault of Knowledge sinks back into the ground. Ugh, my mouse. Let's explain the Swarm spell. The Swarm spell is a... how would you put it? It summons a swarm of insects which irritate and annoy the enemy, causing them to run around screaming. This moment. Well, we're going to see it on both of us. It does nothing to the shaman. It only affects villagers. We don't like that shaman because she cast swarm on our guys, so we're going to cast a tornado on her house. Now look at her. She's got no tower. She's just standing there. Aww. When you guys are running around screaming, you can't select them. Oh, and the tornado turned into a water spout. As I said, little details make a great game. The Swarm spell sends you guys running all over the place. It does hurt them very slightly. You can kill units by using the Swarm spell. It takes a lot of effort, but it does deal small amounts of damage to them. And we'll send them over to attack this shaman. Come on. Put out your dukes. Oh no, fireball! Not the fireball! Come on, push her into the water. Oh, well, that's good enough. Yay! Level complete. And everyone boogies and cheers and creates Congo lines. Yeah! Second world taken by the blue team. Fights won, 26. Fights lost, 0. Enemy tribe destroyed, 1. How many did I lose? Oh, I lost 6 guys. Oh well. So, that was Populous in the beginning. I will leave it here for the moment. I will save the game. 4. Wait, Mech Pound 4? Weird. Oh well. Okay. I will leave it here. The next level we have is called Crisis of Faith. I don't know whether I'll actually do another video on this game or not. I might. I mean, as I said, you can see that there's a lot of levels to play through. Like, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 levels to play through. So, yeah. And some of the later levels are really hard. I remember that. These old games tend to be very forgiving and require you to do a lot of running around the place. I mean, anyway. So, yeah, that was Populous at the beginning, a game very dear to my heart. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. So, see you later. Bye.